gonna go ahead and bring the meeting to order. It's the Town of Swanton Selectboard, January 6, 2026 at 6 p.m. If everyone would, please rise and join us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Start with agenda review. Christina,
The only thing I have was the printed information regarding the listers, if you wanted to add that.
we'll put that under any other necessary, or any unnecessary business. Kathy,
I'm good, thank you.
Cole,
Just to note that the Promote Swanton budget is the loose piece of paper that Christina handed out, not the one in the packet.
okay.
I'm all set.
Anything, we're all set, Steve? Brian?
I just have one piece of correspondence, very brief, was on the agenda, I got it late yesterday.
So, any other,
On any other business.
okay? All right, so we're gonna move on to meeting minutes. Entertain a motion to approve the regular select board meeting of 16 December and also the special joint meeting with Highgate Select Board, Swanton Village Trustees and Board of Directors on December 17th. Hear a second?
I'll second.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Any discussion? Hear none. All in favor state aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
So moved. Public comment. This is for anything that is not on the agenda this evening. Okay. Law enforcement. In the package, right?
Yes, sir.
What's that?
Yes, sir.
Oh,
But I'm here, so I'll just tell you. So the only thing that I had all month was some people on the voucher program calling from the hotel and CVOEO, their rep at CVOEO, about there being some issues at the hotel regarding mold on towels and in the shower area and possible bed bugs. And so that's not in my purview as the town health officer, so I reached out to Mr. Nagel at the inspecting and the licensing. He does like the restaurant inspections and the hotel licensing and inspections for the Franklin County. And he did a lengthy inspection of the hotel, and he did not share the findings with me, so I have no findings to share with you, but I was inspected, and whatever happens is with the state.
When you say CVOEO, are they the organization that
Gives the vouchers.
gives the vouchers? Okay, so is this an extended stay hotel now?
Basically, yes, the hotel across from the elementary school,
Yeah.
it's filled with people who would otherwise be homeless, so they get vouchers from CVOEO, especially in the winter months, and they've been staying there. And I wasn't under the understanding that the voucher program was coming to an end, but I think there's still some instances where the unhoused are going to be allowed to continue to get vouchers because if they have children, if they're, if they're disabled, that kind of situation.
Is that a change in use of the, I'm just curious, is it a change in use of the facility?
From what I understand, yeah,
no.
I mean,
I mean,
with,
from a zoning standpoint, is that what you're
Yeah,
asking?
yeah.
Yeah, I don't think.
I don't think so,
from a
I
zoning
think it's still, yeah.
But it's been actually going on for, I would say, a couple of years.
Since COVID,
Oh, yeah.
at least,
Yeah.
since COVID,
That it's been pretty much full.
yeah.
Yeah.
Even like as you're looking at the row, they're around the corner now, there's a couple of rooms back around the corner there, so.
Yeah, I think the program got significantly cut, but there's still
that's
some funding that it does receive.
So, that's all I have.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Highway Department, be a more detailed report, the second meeting, but, very busy through the holidays, thank, the road crew when you see them, because, they send me a text every time that they go out, and it was pretty much everything except for this last weekend, they were out and about on the days off. Even though it wasn't a lot of snow, it's just enough to make it slippery and dangerous, and they got out there and did their work. The truck did get repaired, so that's their new truck, it is repaired and back in service. Under the old town business, LVRT update, I don't really have much to report other than waiting for the camera installer to get with us and tell us when he's gonna install it. We have and one more bill to submit and then get reimbursed for it, but work is completed there. Okay, Mississippi Valley School District, Rowell, Town of Swanton, land swap, Brian?
Right, I'm pleased to report that, just last week, we did receive the mortgage discharge, we were waiting for it, it's been recorded. So I let our attorney know, and they're working with the other two attorneys to get closing date scheduled. Should be happening soon.
We're gonna ring all the bells in town when that signing takes place.
How long has this been in place?
Over a year.
It was in play when I started, yeah,
2 years.
yeah,
3 years,
yeah.
4 years, I don't know, when did we buy it in the tax sale? How long ago was that?
I'm not gonna guess.
Yeah,
Yeah, so it would have started.
2022, and then there's a year redemption period with lapse, so yeah, 2023.
All right, well, that's some good news for this evening. Fire EMS dispatch contract with the city of St. Albans. And that's in the package, right?
Right.
Copy of the email that you sent.
Yeah, the memo, along with a kind of a template for the contract itself. You know, the explanation of how this is gonna work. At the last meeting, the board left it up to myself and Mr. Sheets to come up with a solution, and we did have a meeting with the two of us, along with Lynn Parody from the village and Christina from the town, and we feel the best bet is to put it on the general fund, tax on the general fund, and that way everybody, town and village residents, who pay it. There is, when we get to the budgets, the police department, or excuse me, not the police department, the fire department and Cisco Rescue, there will be no dispatch cost in those budgets. This is the dispatch cost for those. It's a significant increase, but the city of St. Albans provides the service, and you go by first half of it. For fire and EMS, it works out to $15 per person based on our population of 6,792 people. It's a significant increase over what has been being billed. The current, and this is on a fiscal year, so these rates won't kick in until July 1. They run from July 1 to June 30th, because the city is on a fiscal year. But the per capita on the rates, the current rate was just short of $11, and it went from $11 up to $15. So now the it works out that for this fiscal year, July 1, 2026 to June 30th, 27, the fire department, total fire department would be $32,438.59, and VR $69,431. And then, of course, there is that split that we've done traditionally with the fire department cost, the 75%, 75.78% to the town, 24.22% split to the village. The expenses we paid to $24,581.96 that the town would contribute, and then $78.56.62 the village would share the cost. But is going to the general, that's why it's going to the general account, so that all town taxpayers, town or village, are gonna be paying that. Same amount.
I would have paid the same amount if we'd have split it too.
Right.
So it doesn't really make a lot of difference.
And, so that's,
About a 37% increase.
yeah. Roughly.
Did St. Albans share any info on what the reason for such an increase was?
Well, they thought that we were getting at $11, we were getting quite a break. I don't, Bill, you've had also an increase in the police dispatching, right?
Marginally, bill sheets for the record, it's equity with all other communities that are paying 15%, 15 per capita, we were at 11.
So they were doing it cheaper and just decided we should raise it? I mean,
That's all I have.
Yeah.
They provide dispatch services for other communities too, right?
Oh, the whole
Correct.
county, basically.
So they were charging other towns in the county 15 and us 11?
That's
Okay.
what they
We were, yeah,
advised.
Write it in back bills.
well, we won't go.
yeah, let's not,
Don't give them
let's
any
not.
ideas.
So, I'm just gonna, 100,000 you said is what?
105,000.
For a complete year, for a complete year. This gets altered because of the time and when it gets
Yeah.
implemented, et cetera. So for the general budget, grand total of around $1 million, that the voter's gonna see a 10% increase on the general budget if we add it there. Yeah, and we'll talk about that more, I guess, when we go to the general budget, but one of the questions on the table, right, is where do we do it as a separate line item? Or do we do it a separate line item to vote on? Or do we put it in the general budget? I think we put it in the general budget, because we're gonna have to do it every year.
We don't have a choice.
Right.
I mean, there is an increase, but we were still paying $11. No, it wasn't in general budget, but we were still paying.
Oh, yeah, no, I understand that, people just see numbers
Yeah, I know.
and all of a sudden react to that, and if they don't have the background, that's all,
Maybe that's something we should hit on when we have our annual meeting.
absolutely,
Yeah.
explaining that piece of
You
it.
see this is the trigger that it caused in our budget, but we don't have any choice.
Right, and then every year it'll be as part of the general budget, that's.
We're setting a new floor.
Right.
But how are we gonna handle this fiscal year situation? Are we gonna put it all in and just, because we're on a calendar year,
We're on a calendar.
they're on a fiscal year. Are we gonna budget, what are we gonna do, just put it in an account and pay
So we'll
it?
probably budget for the 6 months.
That's the way that's what I think we should
Instead
do.
of budgeting for a year, we'll budget
So
for
it'll
6
be
months.
a little bit less painful this year.
And
Then
then
budget
next
for the
year.
full year next year.
budget for the full year, because they'll give us hopefully a price. what it's
Cheaper?
gonna be. Well. And, then
It's cheaper.
going forward, this is the transitional year.
Well, the thing is, if we do for 6 months and then, starting next January in 27, we really don't have any funding. I know we'll pay for that, because that's when we're running out of our money.
We are with everything on 1 January. Right? I mean, when we start 1 January, we don't have the voters until March approving what we're doing.
How's-
Highway doesn't.
How's their payment structured?
Yeah.
Four payments.
Well, you
Four
can do
payments,
up to
yeah.
4 payments.
Oh, good, I saw that.
They would like it up front.
They encourage upfront payment in full.
Right, of course.
They're gonna wait.
Four equal payments.
I already told her, I said, it'd probably be the quarterly payment.
I like the idea of slow, do 6 months this year and the full next year. It's a little less impact to the voters, but
It also gives us more time to explain exactly what's going on.
yeah. And I support putting it in the general budget, but I think we should vote on that tonight so that it's clear on how we're building the budget.
Well, I would make a motion right now that, we fund this through the general budget. And we'll do 6 months this year. And, we'll always have to be in the general budget. There's no no other way to do that.
There a second?
I'll second that.
Motion been made second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor state aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Would,
So moved.
Do you wanna put in your motion that that's July 1 to December 30th?
Yeah,
right,
6 months this year.
and would somebody care to make a motion to authorize me to sign the contract when it's done?
I'll make a motion to have Brian sign the contract at when it's signed.
Do we hear a second?
I'll second it.
Motion been made and second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor state aye.
Aye. Aye.
So Brian, will the contract just be for 6 months?
No, it would be.
And it'd be for the full?
Mhm. Yeah.
This is 2026, even though we're only
Oh,
paying
yeah,
half a
this
year.
will have to make it, we'll have
Okay.
to tweak it.
Because January 1 to July
Okay.
30th is not even paid.
Right.
And, you know, I will just take a moment and say, as a former user of Central Dispatch, they give great service. They're, they know the area. They're very helpful, so it's been, I had a lot of going when I was acting in the fire department, they were always very helpful.
Yeah, I don't think we've had any real issues with the service. I think the real thing that's a stinger for us to absorb is such a large increase in 1 year.
Yeah.
Did they mention if that was gonna, if they were anticipating something unexpected that would cause another large increase in the future years?
No, they
Equipment or-
didn't say that. Over the years, I recall, 10 or 15 years ago, they had a substantial increase. But the reason for that, they were on dig the belt, everything's recorded that goes through there. And they had an old dig the belt set up, which was ancient, I guess, and they had to go to digital, so that cost them stuff. So they just, put a surcharge on dispatch. That was a long time ago, but I don't know if they've replaced that equipment since, or I'm sure they do, but a lot of that stuff we gotta keep up with it.
Item D, approve the following proposed 2026 budgets previously presented. Now, the first one up is the highway budget. As we're talking, all of the budgets, direct for the town, there is a issue that we don't have the final numbers for, it's like our liability insurance, right?
More liability,
Workman's comp, et cetera.
vehicle,
Yeah, the
everything.
multi-risk.
We have that whole policy that hasn't been done yet.
So those numbers are not final, so it's, something to be aware of. There is a number in here.
She was hoping by the end of this week we will have the numbers.
So one of the thoughts is, do we have enough time at the 20th meeting to approve all this and get it into the book?
Look on her face.
I mean, well, and the reason I'm asking is, and we talked about it, because I've asked you that before, and is do we have a special meeting next week to go over these final numbers? I mean, that's one possibility.
Advisable. You think you're gonna have all that information by the end of the week, Kathy?
If we absolutely approve everything on the 20th, we'll be fine.
You can make it.
We'll make it.
Because a lot of it, like you were telling me, is changing the last
Right.
number
Exactly,
and then just getting those pages as long as the rest of the book is being prepared.
right, which we're working on now. So,
Yeah.
I mean, we've got some of the stuff for the book already done, so if it's our budget, so we can make it work, if you're
It's just
our whole
gonna,
list of them, no.
it's just putting you in the corner pretty good.
Yeah.
And we'll see how the other budgets go tonight, because we may have to have a special meeting. Anyway, I just wanted to get that out on the table. So from a highway budget, there's not any real significant change from what we discussed last meeting. I just want to throw out, and we can either talk about it now or a little bit later, is the Berry Road culvert. Cause what we would be doing is taking a chunk of the paving and using that to offset the Berry Road culvert over a course of 2 years. And I had some pretty extensive discussions today with Tyler Billingsley, cause I mentioned last meeting, there was a possibility of the other funds with the state. And he, like others, another engineer I talked to, they don't work that type of funding. It's the federal money, very similar to the LVRT and the amount of complication it adds to what they have to do. So he's not a fan of it. He certainly would stay with us if we do it the way we were talking about funding it. He said he would consider that we should wait until we know if we get the grant money from the state that doesn't complicate it, which would be, there's possibly 200,000 from one pot of money and 75 from another. And if you get that money, we find out about the May timeframe, you can't spend until after 1 July. But that makes it difficult trying to contract for this year, because if we wait until we know for sure, then we're gonna get the contract bids out late, we're gonna get high prices. He recommends bidding fall, late fall, which I think is okay, and we just do the work in 2027. And if something changes and we don't get those grants, we might have time to decide to do a little more paving, but it would give us a little bit of flexibility there. I talked to him about failure of that very large culvert. Would we have a catastrophic failure? He said most likely not. It's about an 8-foot pipe at the bottom's rotted. So what'll happen is it'll start to collapse in a little bit near the bottom, but it won't just completely collapse. What he said you'll have problems with is on the side of the pipe when it starts to develop a hole, as the water moves through the ground from rainstorms and stuff, it'll take sand and stuff in there and you won't notice until all of a sudden you find you got a sinkhole. So he said that's something you gotta keep an eye on, and working with other communities, they've done repairs and things. So I think we could get through till next year, but I just wanted to get that out on the table. Just we talk about the Berry Road culvert and how it affects the budget and
Could
stuff.
Kevin take a look at that periodically, just to make sure that we don't have a sinkhole situation?
Oh, I think we should require every couple of weeks someone to run up there and take a look, cause you'll notice a little bit of settlement, he said at first, and then one day you'll drive by and there'll be a hole, and look down in the hole, and there's a hole, very large hole underneath, and I think that would be a reasonable thing, is to have it inspected every couple of weeks.
And document it, because we don't wanna have any liability issues
Right.
that we didn't take care of it.
So are we still gonna budget all the 300 and some odd thousand this year, or?
I think we should, if we
Still
decide
have to carry it over?
carry it over, and then if we decide we wanna do a little more paving, once we get through the spring and see the roads, we could bump that up a little bit, move it, but I think we leave it where it is and carry it.
I mean, you do have, I was looking over this, you have a carryover of 50,000 projected now, 56. You got the budget reduced by 3.63%. If you added another 50,000 to that 300,000, that can put the rollover towards that. The most money. Now this is based on that paper you presented at the last meeting, that you had it all.
Yes. Yep.
The most thing that we could end up being on the hook for is that 160,000 grant you were talking about.
If the bids come in good, that.
And if the grant if we didn't get the grant, we could still use the money, you propose using 100,000 out of if we had to.
Special
Yeah.
funds, or borrow it.
Right,
essentially,
borrow
pay
it,
back next
right.
year.
We could do that 160,000. This way here, if you did it that way, you could go out to bid right off. Once the budget got approved, because we would have the fund there.
The only thing, if we didn't get the state grant this year, then we would already have the work done, so we wouldn't.
We would never, that's right,
We would
we
never-
were giving up the state.
We would be giving
That's
that
right.
money up, yes.
But we're in a situation right now that, you know, we get the budget down 3.6, so say you put another 50,000 in there, I don't think it'll still be around that 3% mark, which is a significant reduction, and then next year, when you go into the budget, if that project's done, then you've got that 350,000 that we don't need to raise, that, you know, would be a significant drop next year, or there might be another project that we might wanna do with less money, but
Well, we
still
would,
have the budget in 27 be reduced.
that's, a fair amount of that 300 go back to the paving.
Yeah.
To the annual paving.
I mean, it's just a way of getting it done if we wanted to get it done, I think, you know, instead of waiting another year and hoping for them grants.
Yeah, and I think we can have that discussion, when we find out whether we get the grant or not, if we wanna.
When we're gonna find that out,
It would be probably no later than May.
so that's too late to go out for bid.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is, you know, we just hope we get the grant, if we don't, we're covered. And we go get the project done.
Yeah, I'd personally rather wait for, 160,000 is a fair chunk of money. That's my recommendation,
I'd
we
like-
go whatever the
I'd
board.
like, got to hang out there.
Good.
Good thought of it.
I think we put together a real good grant package, and I think we should make a few phone calls, because that is a significant amount of money for us to absorb, to fix that culvert, see if we can get the grant.
But if we had some positive news, we could also always have a special meeting if there's enough time to complete this before 2027 too. So it's not like we're locked out of it,
Right.
yeah. So
And I had another question on here, Brooklyn Street, we didn't spend any money on that this year. I know the excavator was down there, I thought they were starting that project, but apparently they didn't. And what's happened,
We're gonna carry over the balance, and we went from nice and dry,
I
and
understand
then we
that,
were getting ready to do it, and it got nice and wet, and, we're gonna carry over. I don't think we have that big one to do
I do have it, but I don't have it right here.
Yeah.
We're gonna carry over the 2024 that we carried over to 2025.
okay, so, but that's more than $2,500, so.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's just what was budgeted, but there was still a carryover, so we're holding separately. Everything's ready to go, but, it got too wet.
you have a water line breakdown? What was all the,
Yes.
The excavator, yeah.
Right near 78, there was a water line
right
they
by
were
the
chasing.
little gas station?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was a water line.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah, they've had a lot of problems, North and South River Street this year. I don't know if there's any other questions on, highway, if there's not.
So we'll take action on this for next meeting.
Right. Library operating budget, that's in the package, right?
The new package is exactly the same as it was.
Page 13 is a summary, so it's page 12 and 13.
And again, so we won't know on the building insurance.
Right.
You're still waiting on that number too,
Which building insurance, so that's.
for the library.
Yeah, but we're on the,
That'll be page 15.
We're-
Oh,
we're on the first part of the library part A.
Okay.
Is it gonna be clear what we're asking the taxpayers for here? When I look at this.
$79,400.
Okay, somewhere in talking with the library, let's make sure yeah, I know it will be on the actual item that's voted, but as people are looking through the town report, it'd be nice to say, request from the town. Anybody have any other questions on this one? Cause this, I think we could approve,
I'll make a motion to approve the Swanton Public Library operating budget for 2026.
no, your second,
Second,
Motion's been made and seconded. Any further discussion?
That includes the salaries also? or-
No,
No,
No.
that's,
Do you wanna put the amount in there?
no.
In the amount of
part that.
$79,400.
All right, so we get the motion and a second. Any further discussion? I think the comment, and we'll get your question
Yeah,
answered,
I just
right?
wanna make
And
sure.
then we'll just make sure what we put in the town report shows what is, that the ask from the taxpayer. All those in favor state aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it. Next, page 15 is the operating, building and salary budget, right? That's the one, the insurance on here. Right now, we're showing a 1.32% increase. 2026, so we didn't, the 3%, there's some reason,
It wasn't,
the amount they
the
needed,
amount they needed didn't exceed what we had already budgeted in the past based on
so it was a
projections.
the new number was 3% more.
Even, but we had more budgeted
Right.
originally, so it didn't,
It didn't jump at 3%.
right, exactly.
Yeah.
Even though they did get the 3%, it didn't bump the budget 3%.
Right. The bottom line of what we need for 2026. Yes, okay. So this one, I think we should wait, and if we get the insurance number, but if there's no other questions on it.
Just one, you come up with a building maintenance of 20,350. Usually it's 20,000 or 25,000. What?
It was 20,350 in 2025, I just used the same number.
Yeah, I wonder why they came up with that number to start with. It's kind of an odd.
I don't know, you, nice person.
But we have
I
some
think
money.
there were some things actually we're doing that year.
Yeah,
We
maybe
did,
it-
we did, extra work that year, so it was about $20,000. So we left it that way, and when I talked to Brian with everything that's going on, it seems like we probably need money for maintenance there.
Yeah, we
So we
didn't
just left it
spend
as-
that much this year. It says it was 3,900 and almost $4,000 carryover. Or we still got bills coming in.
I don't think that we
I
have any
don't
bills
think,
coming
well,
in.
I don't know if, I'll have to check with, I don't think we have another quarterly alliance coming in for the fourth quarter. I think that was all taken care of, but I'll double check and make sure.
However, today, this morning, we had the engineer
Yeah.
class down in the elevator pit, so, we've gotta do some work there.
Is it gonna be excessive work?
It's not gonna be what I would call extensive work. We gotta find the right plumber, walk them through it. The reason we're wearing these pumps out, and I'm a little disappointed that Alliant did not catch this, is the check valve is letting it seep back, so that pump is cycling, big time cycling. So they wore out an old one, they put a new one in, new one's there cycling. And for that kind of money, this is a $3,000 bill. That is about what we probably should be able to get a couple pumps and check valves replaced and flush the line, and I think we'll be good for many, many years. We just need to check it more often. And, what we gotta add to the cost though is it's $275, right, is what he said for the elevator
$275
per hour to sit there while the thing's shut off, but that's what we've gotta do. So you're talking probably a $4,000 or $5,000 bill to fix that, but once it's fixed, Earl, I think it'll be fine for years. It just needs someone to check it, and they should have known it, that it was cycling.
So that 20,000 ought to be, should be sufficient then, cause it's not gonna be all used on that elevator project, sump pump
The sump
project.
pump, no, I don't think so.
Okay,
I think we're in pretty good shape with that number. If we needed to, we could go on some of the capital money that we put away every year, but I don't, you know. Unless something really big happens there, I think that would carry it.
Dan, I forgot to bring this up. I should have brought up in the general. The railroad depot.
Yeah.
Where's the status of the grant? And I know we had discussed it, it was gonna be, we would have to have a match, right?
Right. The grant was not approved for the full amount. We're getting $3,911, I believe.
4,000?
Yeah, just under 4,000. However, there's a second round of grants that we're top of the list for. And that's from clawback money and money that wasn't used, and that we would know that in July. So I said, well, we'll accept the 3,900 hotel. And I'll get together with Laz and see what the most serious that we need to can address with that, with the match, and we'll go from there.
Where are we gonna get the match from? Are we gonna budget for it, or are we gonna use it out of the capital improvement fund?
When's that? We won't even know, right? For a while? I mean, there's no specific date for the clawback money?
Well, around the 1st of July.
Yeah, so we get the 1st of July.
But you were gonna get together with Laz.
To
Now,
at least get started on some of it.
do we have to match that 3,900
Yeah.
with 3,900?
No, I don't, so I'll have to go back and read. They just sent me the grant, all the information now that I gotta comply with, so. I just got that the other day, so I will be reviewing that.
If we got the capital improvement fund, it's probably gonna be where we're gonna end up getting money out of it.
And we see how we do on the maintenance here as well. By
Yeah.
1 July, we should have some idea of what we're gonna have for a balance. The only thing I could say, or would suggest, do we wanna jump that building maintenance up a little bit?
Well, this is the third, I'm talking about the,
Oh, I'm sorry.
yeah,
Yeah.
the
Museum.
museum.
So that in the general budget,
Right now, we budget 12,000. We spent 6,087, 2025, and then 5,912, 95 left over, so.
How much is in that? We only got 1 year for the capital improvement.
We've got,
I think two.
yes, because we did it, started at, yes, we have 2, so that was 50.
Yeah.
Then we had another 5,000.
And we had some in special
And
funds,
then,
we
yeah.
said would probably gonna push it over to the capital too, so I think we'd be in pretty good shape.
Yeah, but I hate to see that not at least get done, all the woodwork get done this year if we don't get it painted. And it's been ignored for a long time.
Yeah.
It's either that or,
Get that thing watertight.
we just take the rig mill and stuff.
Yeah. And that's one thing we gotta look at is how much usage is it getting. Okay,
Well, just to further that point, Mr. Chair, maybe they must record the number of people that go into the facility on an annual basis, I wonder, visitors.
I'm not sure at this point who's in charge of taking care of that. They do have a visitors register there, and go in, and I don't know if they're keeping track of it.
It'd be useful
Nick?
information.
Nick, you got any insight on the museum and the amount of traffic it gets in the course of a year?
It's all summer based at this point because we're not holding that many events in the winter. Yeah, and in the summer, I would say the visitors log probably would be the best way to track it. Or I would talk to some of the we have 2 volunteers there who it might be a good idea to talk to that could potentially give us get a good estimate of the amount of visitors that show up. But I would say most people would probably sign the visitors log.
Is that something you could take on to get us some information on?
Yeah, I could do that.
Yeah, that would really help us out here a little bit if we have that discussion.
We're gonna keep this in perspective.
How much do we get?
You know, do we spend this kind of money for 100 visitors? Whatever.
Well, the other thing we gotta keep in mind too is, that's one of the attractions that we could advertise as far as, the rail trail is concerned. Which would attract, because it's a direct route down there, that's one of the, I don't know, how much of an asset it would be. I think it would be a pretty good asset for the community, as far as trail recreation is concerned.
Yeah, I mean, we should encourage anybody using the LVRT to take the extra mile
That's
and
exactly.
see a little bit of Swan. And
That's exactly what we wanna do, but then again, if we're not gonna take care of the building, you know, we wanna encourage them to go down there.
Yeah.
It is a nice site, you know, they do have the plaques out there, it's kinda interesting. You know, it's the type of thing that, you know, when I go out traveling, I would stop and see, and I'm sure there's other people, you know, especially from a recreational standpoint. So it is an asset that I feel we really need to maintain it, and I think we can get better use and more benefit to the community, you know, if we take care of it.
Maybe we ought to ask the Historical Society group for recommendations.
Yep.
And they're the ones that supposedly are in charge of this. Well, they are in charge, but get their input. What do they think we can do?
Yeah, and one thing, I think I've thrown it out, maybe talking with Earl or somebody, is you put 1 or 2 offices down there so that there's some type of income coming into that place. I know it would shrink the amount of stuff that's being displayed, but it's something that should be added to conversation if we're saying we're putting too much money for return on investment.
Yeah.
All part of discussion that we can have after we get some more facts. Okay, Swanton Rec budget. Good evening.
Good evening.
How's everybody?
Pretty good, yourself?
I'm doing great, thank you.
So I won't take too long.
So where do
Take your time, I'm not looking for mine.
is it in the package?
No, I have it in my.
You have it there.
Yeah.
The latest and greatest.
Thank you.
Give that to you want one, Kathy?
Yeah, I need one.
Oh, wait, yes.
Okay, make sure you have one first.
So we were here last meeting and, we came back to this meeting because we didn't know what our surplus was gonna be. The number that you see is actually an estimated surplus, cause we just barely got our December bank statement, so it hasn't been reconciled yet. So that is an estimate. We did take the LVRT off as you asked. Basically our ask is the $250,492. That's at the 4.5% increase. And then, like I said, the estimated surplus is $46,593.
So you're saying you'd apply that surplus or portion of it to that 250?
We would like to not, we would like to keep our surplus and use it towards, an item that we presented to you guys on that list, maybe of the vehicle. Because next year, we're gonna have, our ask is gonna be the same, around the same. It pretty much only increases by a couple percent, 4%. So if we take that 46,000 off, and next year we come back and ask for the 250 again, it's just gonna look like a big
Well,
increase.
it's explainable, though. Yeah, we could explain it.
Or we keep the money that the taxpayers have already approved and put it towards an investment for the rec department.
Yeah, one idea would be that if you were gonna use this money, this carryover to purchase your vehicle and fund the balance out of your capital reserve, then next year you'd only be looking at your regular budget, which probably wouldn't change much.
No.
So we're not gonna see a big effect. I mean, half a dozen, one or the other, I mean, the money's gonna, put it off and pay now or pay later.
Can we carry that money over? I thought it was just highway that could carry money over.
Well, the difference between the two is the fact that their budget, all of that money was approved by the taxpayers for them, for the rec department, like it is for the fire, the rescue, library. It's, once the taxpayers approve that for them, it's their money. So it doesn't have to get voted on to carry it over, because it's already been voted for them to have that money.
Okay, cause
It's an article.
yeah, I thought
The highway's different, you can.
the
general
highway
fund
we
you
can
can't.
carry over, the general you can't.
No,
Okay.
unless it's voted on.
And all our special fund items are earmarked for specific things, so we can't just spend it on, so if we put this in as for a vehicle, we can't spend it on field maintenance. So that's how we break it out, like field maintenance. You can't take field maintenance money and buy a vehicle with it. So everything in our special fund account has a specific line item. So if we put this in their vehicle, then we'd have that money.
Okay.
Now, I assume that, you guys are gonna make up the balance out of your capital reserve fund
The balance go on.
for the vehicle.
We haven't decided on that yet.
I know, but if
Right,
this is
we
how
haven't
we would
decided
do
on
it.
what vehicle.
Right.
I do have like, and what we want for the RFP, but we haven't had that conversation yet.
And
I
I
know
s-
that,
I sent them, go ahead.
no, you go ahead.
I sent a memo out asking, I had a whole bunch of questions I think we should answer before we bring this way along. I'm sure you got a copy of that?
About the vehicle?
Yeah.
No. I did not get anything.
I sent that along. That was 2 months ago now.
Yeah.
Before, I think, yeah,
Not
before, but,
specific to a vehicle.
Yes, it was.
Oh, well, I didn't get it.
no, I sent it to Nicole and prep for this meeting, cause you had questions about operating costs and that sort of thing.
I think you.
Oh, that. Oh, but it wasn't just specific to the vehicle.
Yes, it was.
Pretty much.
Oh.
So
Did
if I
Brian
look at
send
this
it to me?
right,
Did you send it to me?
if we took, let's say we,
Just sent it to
well, I think what happened is you sent it to Brian and I,
Yeah.
and I forwarded it on when they were prepping for budgets and possibly getting the vehicle. Let's say we kept this at 3%. Am I correct in saying that's about $3,600 we would take off? Cause it's 200, it's essentially 240,000, so 1% of 240,000 would be 2,400. So if we brought this down to 40,000 carryover toward a vehicle, then basically you'd be a little under 3%,
So basically, level funding us.
essentially, yeah.
A little 3%. I think that's a good idea. Everyone else has been pretty judicious of keeping in line with our recommendations.
And to me, that money coming out of special funds, if, for the vehicle, 3,000 isn't gonna make or break the $500,000 that is being kept right now for the rec, so I would throw that out there, but
I'd make that recommendation. We managed the increase to 3% over the previous year. Small amount of money, but I think it's got significance.
So the ask would be $246,790.06.
yeah, plus or minus $1 or $2 as you finalize it, but basically at 3%, or yeah, 3% would just times that number.
We just take 97% of 250,492, and that'll give you the number.
I would multiply 1.03 times 239,602.
I don't have a calculator.
I did it, that's.
I don't, but
Oh,
my
you
phone
did it.
I
does.
did it, that's what it is.
Okay.
So my number was right?
Yes.
Okay.
246, 790.06.
All right, I
There
can
you
do
go.
that.
You got 3 checks on it now, so I think we're all good to go. Is that reasonable? I mean, I don't think it's gonna really affect, but it keeps it at that 3%, I think.
Again, the reason why there's a difference is because we lost Little League, so we're still trying to figure out how to make up for that revenue. And I'm hopeful that in 2027, we will have a strategy or something in place to have that additional revenue back. But I
think it's a reasonable increase, and, yeah, I'm good if everyone's good, but someone will make a motion to approve it.
Kathy, when do we have to have this to you?
You mean your final budget?
Yep, for the book.
Within the next week or so?
Week
No,
or-
no.
I can have
Give
it
I
it
think
to
it
us.
was the 19th if everything was due, right?
Yeah.
tomorrow's the 13th.
Okay.
Then someone might wanna make a motion to approve it?
I'll make a motion to approve the recreation budget.
At three-
As noted, right?
As noted.
With the 3%.
With a 3% increase, yeah.
You got the number, right?
Yep.
And
And do I hear a second?
Second,
Motion's been made and second to approve the recreation budget for the amount of $246,790.06. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor state aye. Aye.
Aye.
Nicole abstains.
Opposed? So moved.
Tomorrow, send me an email. Is she the one that does town budget, town book?
Yeah.
She sent me the email.
About when it's due.
Yeah.
So moving forward, any email that's sent to the rec department has to come to myself and Ron. So if it comes from this office, I do ask that you send it to myself and Ron.
Okay.
So we don't run into what we just ran into. And that way we can support our staff when it comes to that kind of information.
Okay.
So if we send one to a chair, he will send it to where you have action.
Anything that pertains to the rec department should come to Ron and I.
Very good.
Thank you so much.
All right.
And when you get that, when you do read that memo, if you have some questions, feel free to give me a call.
Yeah, of course.
Because I think we need to have a good general discussion about that before we execute anything.
They're specific to the vehicle.
Yes, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Thank
And
you.
that, we'll have that discussion after.
Whatever,
Next year.
yeah, whatever's
Or
convenient.
where next year.
I'm not sneaking off on us.
After we get through this.
What I would like to do, folks, is I would like to jump to 6. These folks have been waiting almost an hour, and these other items are all stuff we can do. So if everyone's good with that, I'd like to jump into new town business. Item 6A, presentation of 2026 budget request of Missisquoi Valley Rescue with possible adoption. Good evening.
Good evening.
Welcome to bring another chair right up here if you want.
Before we get into the actual numbers, as far as budget goes, just give you a quick rundown of the year's stats. It's been another busy year. We did 1,926 calls this year. We're up 4% over last year. Still responding a significant amount of mutual aid and keeping our area covered really well. Mutual aid required to our area is 2.6%, which is very, very low.
How many calls?
Total call volume 1,926.
Okay, that's what I wrote down.
Yeah.
Is that combined?
That's combined everything we do, interfacility transfers, Swanton,
Highgate,
Highgate, yeah,
Okay.
yeah, mutual aid.
And what was the increase you mentioned over the last year?
We're up about 4% over last year for calls. So as far as the budget goes, our total ask, and this will have to be adjusted based on the dispatching piece. We had only budgeted 50,000 for dispatching. We weren't entirely sure what that final number was gonna be, but obviously that needs to be deducted out of the 276,386. So you have to take 50,000 off of that.
Help me get to the 276 on this document I have in front of me.
So that's our ask from Swanton. Out of
It's
our
not
total
on
budget.
here.
Yeah, I apologize, I didn't put it in.
You didn't have that broken out, so on it.
No, I didn't, no. So out of, where it says community support, 364,700, obviously that'll have to drop to 50. But, our ask from, Swanton was 276,386, and then we're gonna have to subtract 50, so what is that, 226,386? Yeah.
So it was 259,490.
Last year.
226,386. The ask.
259,490 was last year.
Yeah.
And what's this year's, you said?
226,386.
Yeah, if you take out dispatch.
But that's because dispatching.
Yeah.
Let's keep apples and apples here.
Yeah. I think if you take out dispatching, I believe it was 47 last year. I think that's still around like around
Brian's note said what he thought the,
Last year, well, this fiscal year was $50,720.
I know.
What the city provided us.
but it's gonna jump to
69, so.
Cause I know they billed us directly last year, I wanna say it was like 46 or 47,000.
Well, they told me that they found where they made an error, they made
Oh, 1,500, which puts us at 47, so yeah.
So if you had the 69 to the 226, you're talking about 297.
Yeah.
Is the cost of rescue services when you throw in the dispatch.
Wait, say that again?
The dispatch, the new dispatch number we have effective
Oh,
on
gotcha.
July is 69,000. It's a big increase, what you probably heard us talking about.
Yeah.
So when I add that to the 226, just trying to get a ballpark of the increase. And unfortunately, it's not,
Yeah, dispatch is kind of out of our hands.
yeah, it's out of your hands.
Yeah.
You just carry it as a line item. but
Yeah.
You suffer the wrath when everyone's like, well,
Yeah.
why'd it go up so much?
I do have a couple questions. Professional services.
Yep.
There's a big jump in that, or actually this year you spent over 130,000, you only budgeted 35. And then you got 78. How come there's such a big increase in that?
Yeah, so there was a little bit extra because we had to have, we hired a new accountant and we had to have them go back a couple of years on some of our finances because Tabs Inc., which we were using, was not doing the job appropriately. So we hired an accounting firm to do that. There's also some legal fees rolled into professional service due to ongoing investigative issues with the other situation, personnel issue. So we've had to pay an investigation company for that. So that's kind of the reason why that's elevated. Those two driving factors.
And then, new station.
Yep, so that's one thing. So that is not set in stone yet. We do have an offer in that was accepted. Our loan is accepted, but we haven't pulled the final trigger yet. We are looking at a new station. It is by Airport Road in Highgate. It's 6,000 square feet. The price settled on that is $485,000. The piece of land that we have now, to build brand new on there, you're talking over $2 million. So we could get a new building with renovations for less than $1 million. And again, we wouldn't ask for all that. That's incorporated into the budget, that mortgage payment incorporated into our budget.
What would that be a year roughly?
$45,000.
And that's what the 45
Yeah.
number.
That's the price of the land, Mr. Van Schaaf, up at the airport?
Yeah, that building and everything up there and the renovations to that.
Whereabouts on it?
It's 555 US Route 78, so it's the first building on the left right after Airport Road. I think it was the Business Services of America, I think.
Did it just go on the market? I drove by the other day.
Not that long ago,
Not
yeah,
that-
yeah.
Cause then they renovated the others just beyond that.
Yes,
Took the
yes.
siding all off and
Yes.
re-sided it.
Yep.
But I noticed the other day that,
Yes.
okay, so yeah.
That's big enough for you guys?
Oh, that would be more than plenty. Right now, we don't even have all our trucks in the same building. It's very cramped in there. This would give us actual training room, offices, living quarters, appropriate living quarters. Our square footage right now is, was it Bill, like 1,100, 1,200? I think roughly, yeah.
It's what 30 by 40 or something.
Yeah.
What was the cost? And you're buying the land and the building.
Yep, land in the building. 485, and then we're estimating about 150,000 for renovations.
Why would you buy, go ahead.
How long you financing that for?
25 years.
25
Yep.
years.
Why would you buy the land and the building? Why isn't it one package?
It is.
Oh,
It
okay.
is. Yeah,
That's it. So you're buying the parcel?
yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
How many acres?
I believe it was 2.1, if I recall correctly. Yeah.
That's a steel building, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
And then as far as other items that have increased, as far as payrolls, always goes up. We offered a 3% raise to our employees this year, or proposed for 2026. And for the first year in our history, we are actually going to start offering retirement to our full-timers, is what we'd like to do. So, something we have not done in our nearly 50 years of existence, and now that we're fully paid, it's something we should kind of look at, especially with how busy we are and this being a kind of a going from volunteer to career type service.
You pay bonuses?
Yes, we do, very small, yeah, but we do, yes, yeah.
Good.
This year was $400, yeah, it's not, yeah.
Not enough.
Yeah.
Nick, you got a question?
Yes, can you tell me why there was such an increase with ambulance payments?
Ambulance payments? Yeah, that incorporates our, the 2 new trucks that we purchased. That's why they went up. We had one, we paid one off, but now we have 2 payments, so that's why that ended up doubling. So one's a wash, but then we ended up with 2 additional payments for the 2 new trucks.
Okay.
Yep.
It would be helpful if we just went back and forth on the dispatch dollars. So if we try to have apples and apples, could Ryan just send us something if we backed out the dispatch cost from last year and do it this year, then we'll have a,
I do believe it's around 6%. If you remove dispatching from both last year and this year.
okay.
So you're looking at 6% increase in your budget.
Yes.
Yeah, 6% for you guys.
Yes.
But dispatching is a much larger than that increase. So the overall increase for rescue services is more than 6%.
Yeah, that's why I'd like to see something, we're moving a lot of numbers around, which is fine. But I'd like to see something in print maybe.
Probably gonna be closer to 8, 9%.
At least.
Yeah.
Yeah. So right now contractually, the contract is good until, well, actually the contract's
Yeah.
expired, right?
Yeah. We offered, I'm talking with Brian, we offered an extension that we're gonna cover it until the new contracts.
It would be at this new rate, cause this is effective
January 1, yeah.
January 1, so I just
Yeah.
want board members to understand that the contract would be signed after March again. Last year was the first time we even did one. Okay. Any other questions on this budget? We get a motion to put this budget into the town report for 2025.
I'd make the motion.
Do I hear a second?
I'll second it.
Motion's been made and seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor state aye. Aye. Aye.
Good job.
Opposed?
Good
So
job,
moved.
gentlemen.
Did you wanna put
Very
that
good
out
job.
for 226, 386?
Yes. Thank you. Any update on when the report might be
The
coming out?
holidays slowed down the
figured
investigation,
that was gonna happen.
but that is still all in progress. They said another probably week and a half. So,
Okay.
because right now they're still interviewing some former employees.
Okay.
And then just gonna wait for them to finalize everything, and again, we will give you guys the report.
Yep, just wanted to check the status on that. Yep, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Next is Swanton Police. Bill and Susie are the carriers of these budgets. Next two.
See you guys.
Good night.
You want the company chair?
No, you can have it.
You sure?
I'm positive.
Hello, everybody. Which one are we on? Police or
But
fire?
please.
Oh, you're starting with the more difficult one.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, we just want to see how we do. So, make the other one gonna be easy.
I'm gonna assume so. What would you like to know?
What's the increase?
17%?
How much?
17%.
So the follow-on question, and I mean, it's in some of this data here, is what is the major drivers?
Yeah, I mean, it's the usual. It's salary and benefits, it's dispatching, it's property insurance, it's workers' comp. It's all of the above. Policing is a very expensive enterprise. So please be mindful that we're doing everything we can to keep costs down, and that every increase you have, we have double with far less voters. That's the state of policing. So if we go back to the previous contract with you folks, just a reminder, it gets confusing because the previous contract goes until March 31st of this year. That was at a rate of $43,261 a month. The next 12-month period for you would be $47,842.80. There's a little bit of risk, there's significant risk actually on behalf of the village to keep that final 3 months. In other words, January to March 31st of 2027 is a gamble. To think that costs aren't gonna go up during that time, but it's just a guess, and the impact is impactful enough. So that puts the town contract at $574,114. So the other things to point out, I think the relationship is not only great, the relationship is beneficial. I think that collectively it's gonna keep policing alive. Not many things not many dominoes have to fall to jeopardize policing in Swanton. There's no doubt in my mind. So we worked, that we tracked over 200 hours, but let's just call it 200 extra hours in the contract last year. Our rate, our composite rate is $90 an hour, so that's $18,000 that weren't charged, and it's because it's the right thing to do, and those were those comprehensive investigations, in particular for drugs. And there are just certain things that are beyond our control. So when we say salaries, well, the rest of the village got 3%, the police got more. Because St. Albans City PD gets more. And that's all it takes, folks. They're looking left and right in this environment. And while it creates inequity amongst village employees, and trust me, it does, it creates equity amongst comparable police departments. And the comparable police department is St. Albans City. We don't look at Chittenden County, even Milton, we compare ourselves to St. Albans City. Staffing, call volume, pay are all the same.
And it's the closest one if they're gonna poach one of our officers.
And you don't have to necessarily move.
Exactly.
You don't have to move at all.
So I mean, if you can work it for the city at $32 an hour, or you can work at Swanton for $28 an hour, which one are you gonna pick? So that, that's why we have to be competitive with that.
And we also gotta look at this budget, you're not seeing a line item for cruisers, because there isn't one. We buy them if we have a little bit of savings at $40,000 for a used one with 50 to 80,000 miles on it. It's the only way we're gonna be able to survive. If you buy a new one with fit up, roughly $80,000 a pop now.
That's all for a police car?
That's all.
I think it's a
Well,
lot.
I thought it
I thought that
was, hey,
was a lot.
most regular cars are 50, 60,000, and police cars got all that equipment in
They
there.
do, but the equipment's about 30,000,
Yeah.
And we've
35,000.
also been lucky to have Stone Garden
Mhm.
providing
Yep.
us with a lot of equipment as
Right.
well.
I got a question on the school resource officer.
Yep.
You got that up to 200,000.
It's because there's two of them.
Is that other funding coming in to cover that?
Yes.
Or,
Yeah.
okay, that's not raised by the taxpayer.
Correct.
That shows
Well,
up
with
in your
one
income.
exception, remember, and we had talked about this. So we hired Chad Perroff with an arrangement with the school where we, the village, paid for his first year because we were having extreme difficulty recruiting, to the point where we were gonna maybe have to have a conversation about not being able to fulfill our contract with the town. So that's a force multiplier because he's not always at the school. Effective July of 2026 and moving forward, his full salary and benefit package are paid for by the school system. And Dean Scott's already is paid for 100% by the school system. We just hired a full-time certified yesterday. So just started, immediately started like that day. So made it through the process. That leaves us with one full-time opening now. And July 1st, when the school assumes responsibility for Chad Perroff's salary, we have another opening.
And we have two in the pipe.
We have pipeline. So we're hopeful that someday I can go on Richard Cockthwaite's show again, shout out to Richard, and say we're fully staffed.
Yeah, you had them leave the other day, right, down to Florida?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the professional fishing tournament business.
Yeah.
Yeah, good for him.
Hey, wish them well.
Yep.
That dispatch increase, when you see it on here, it just makes your head shake. 2 years ago, 65.
That was like we were told back then, introductory offer. But to put it in perspective, if you were trying to do it yourself, because I ran dispatch centers as a career, You would have to find a building,
Oh, yeah.
find the equipment, find the people, 1.5 million minimum to start out the first year. If you're going 24/7.
Can you help me on the back side of this, where you get your 574? Is it taking some
It's-
percentage of the, some line item here?
It's taking, it's not that clean. It is a multitude of things, but it's essentially 33% of all patrol salaries, so including the chief. 33% of the chief, Ashley's the administrative assistant, 33%, because again,
Yeah, we were,
Yeah.
yes.
So that is what it's combined of, and then all of the officer salaries, and that's what it adds up to.
So it's not 33% of like your total budget?
No, because our
That
total
would
budget
be
is
oh,
1.9, so that math.
I know, I was, yeah, I like the math,
But
I'm
if you
seeing.
want,
No, end of that question right there, you
can I
do.
throw in a water line on Route 78 in Middle Road to sweeten the pot? You own a water line, you in?
No, you tried giving us the bridge before, we're not taking that either.
That's also at play.
I mean, unless power to West Swanton is maybe
So
something.
we can't do that, sorry.
The rec field.
I tried for years, Nicole.
Well, I'll keep trying, Steve.
They said just run an extension cord out there.
Yeah, it's not that easy, sadly.
Yeah. No, folks, you guys and girls, got any other questions there?
I would say that I'm glad you're keeping the salaries competitive. And it's unfortunate that they're higher than the rest of your non-police staff, but how many people in the morning kiss their wife goodbye and go to work and get shot?
Right.
You know, so, I mean, these salaries are
There's-
justified.
There's a pretty good understanding amongst village employees. You know, it's the same for the line workers, the line maintainers.
Sure.
After 4 years, their salaries are up here, but there are also not a lot of people want to touch live high voltage wires.
In the middle of the winter.
Right.
Okay, do I hear a motion to approve the budget in the sense of putting it into the town report?
So the amount you're asking the town for is 500, I'm trying to find it here, 'cause I got
560.
560,
Yeah,
that's
that's
right, okay.
That's right, that number.
Because on the front side, it says 560, somewhere there.
So we are always in our paperwork gonna show the contract for 560, because it's a calendar year of the first 3 months at 43,000.
Right.
And then 9 months at 47, which adds up to 560. You're signing a contract that actually includes 3 months into your next calendar year.
Is there any easy way to correct that?
That is discussion before.
We've had that discussion and made a mess of it last year, so.
Well, last year, I think we had,
20,
last year, I
21
think we had an addition or problem that's
Yeah.
why we came up a little short, but so that we basically try to estimate those 3 months, so we get a number out to the voters on what we're gonna carry for police coverage. But I guess we would always be carrying that in advance, wouldn't we?
We're keeping this even, and as a reminder, by the way, it looks like it's still a big jump, don't get me wrong. But remember, you had 30,000 in carry forward and we had 60, right? We took 33, 66%. We don't have that this year. The reason we don't have that is we did take the opportunity to buy 2 new used cruisers so that we don't have to put cruisers in this budget.
As long as we know it up front, I think,
It's
the
either
interesting thing-
9-month or 21-month budget to get us on track. That's what
Yeah,
it's gonna
that's,
take us.
so if then that's gonna be a big hit next year to the,
Yes.
alright, as long as, and we know the math is
Now, I-
that we're.
Stumbled on an old contract, I think it was in 2016, it was a 3-year contract. And then
Oh, God, I wouldn't wanna guess what the rates are gonna increase.
You know, and it just was like, for 3 years. Somebody was
Yeah.
daring.
The good news for the police department is, what we're hoping is that we get both sets of contracts through. Our budget on the village, we haven't finalized it yet, but everything is level funded with one exception, and it's a massive exception, it's the police department. That's the one standout where literally there's increases, because the offset for us was the increase, additional 2% on the employee for health insurance this year. So, but on the good news front, we're scheduled to break ground on the new electric department in April. So about a year and a half, the PD, without incurring any expense except for a coat of paint on the wall, can at least spread out. And then, hopefully for recruiting, it's pretty hard to recruit when your pay is all the same and everything else is the same, your retirement's the same. Except you live in, this is the space right here for the entire police department. You all know it, you've all seen it. One of the other significant ones, and I think you saw it in here, and it's uncontrollable, the police are in the best plan in the state for retirement, like all other police are. They contribute 11%, which is more than anyone else, but the retirement costs are just escalating.
Are you looking at expanding into any new territories?
No, I wish I had a crystal ball and I could look for 3 to 5 years. I've been preaching, 30 years in the state police, director of the police academy. Policing is going to have to change. There's no poster anymore that people look at and say, you know what, I really want to do that. It's luckily it's a career that enough people still want to do, but it's a challenging environment. So the hope is that we become fully staffed, because I sat here not that long ago and said there's no way we can give you additional coverage for speed enforcement. I got other calls. Highgate's one of them, as recently as yesterday. Can you give us some hours? The answer's a hard no. We have to be loyal to Swanton first.
Well, that's where I was headed.
Yeah.
All right, someone wanna give us a motion to approve the 574-114?
I'll move.
Second,
Motion's been made and seconded to approve the police budget to put it in the 2025 annual report for 4/1/2026 to 3/31/2027, 574-114. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor state aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? So moved. All right, on to the fire.
Okay, so as a reminder for fire, the dispatch fee is out of here now. So that is separate, no real difference in who's paying. We use a rolling 5-year average of the grand list. If you take the 410,657, which is the total operating, you deduct interest and pilot, and then you do the division. 77% is how we arrived at the 309,299.
That's actually a reduction from last year.
Because of dispatch.
Is it no dispatching?
Correct.
Because,
But yes,
dispatch is not in
yes,
this one.
Selectmen.
Okay.
We're giving you a bonus.
It's still-
Hold on,
I
bro.
thought you guys had dispatch because the rescue, I
However,
just assumed.
the dispatch portion for the fire department is the smallest portion of that increase. The other things to point out, and I think we've talked about this, the leadership, the entire department right now, we have 26 members, going very strong. When you look left and right at other communities, there's not a lot of volunteer fire departments that are operating at our level. We have sold one of the trucks. They gotta take possession of that, but I think, we were in here, I think we did a presentation. Downsizing by one, paying with cash on hand for the utility that will take probably a couple more years to get there. Get rid of the one apparatus that we can afford to get rid of without impacting services, and no bond anticipated till 2032. So with all that in mind, this is, I think we're doing extremely well in the fire department.
So that's why that equipment replacement fund is up another 15,000, because you wanna be able to pay cash.
We can pay cash now for the mini pumper. We're talking about in 2032, the truck that needs to be replaced, like everybody else, you're gonna be like, it's gonna be sticker shock, $1 million.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
And that equipment replacement fund, is that also for breathing and apparatus?
It can be. They're pretty up to speed at this point for stuff, with the exception of the good news is we're getting in a lot more female cadet candidates who are smaller in stature. And at first they're trying to put the bunker gear on them from like the dude that was 6 feet tall. That's not gonna work. So we're at least properly sizing the equipment for these new cadets. That's good.
Yeah, I really appreciate the effort the fire department's made to be out in the community at different events and things, and when most of it's all volunteer time, that is pretty
It
darn
is.
good to get that kind of response. And
Yep.
Seems to be a lot of young people involved in it.
There are. There's an uptick.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's a
it
young
is.
person's job, trust me.
And I say this at every meeting, I'm glad we don't have to pay for a professionally, fully staffed police department. It'd be a
Fire.
fire department. It's be
Can you
substantially
imagine
more.
what that
What's
costs? Yeah, it'd be.
We can't thank them enough.
Yeah.
There are many are starting the trend of just adding one, and then 2 years later it becomes 2, and it's 3, and then you see a blended fire and rescue, and they're cross-trained, and you know, yeah, it's expensive. This is an extremely favorable budget for what they provide.
Just the pilot number looks small, and I don't know why, but that's payment in lieu of taxes.
It is.
That's it.
Yeah, we don't have much. I'd have to get you the detail and follow
No,
up.
no, it's okay. I don't want
Yeah.
to put.
Does it should divide it amongst everybody who resides in the,
Yeah, I'd have to.
like, there's a percentage,
I'd have to verify.
I'm pretty sure, don't quote me, but
I just thought it was small, that's all.
So the assessment is $309,299
Correct.
for 2026.
That's
Are
correct.
you ready
A
for summer?
decrease.
Don't
Well, it
make
would have
me
been,
restate that.
even if you put that back in there, I mean,
Yeah.
it's not as much of an increase as the police department.
no.
That goes without saying.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, entertain a motion to approve the town fire assessment for 2026 at the cost of $309,299.
I'll make that motion.
Do I hear a second?
I'll second it.
Motion's been made and second. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor state aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Have a good night.
You too.
Thank you. No, that was, I've had worse. I can survive that.
And we still don't want the bridge.
Are you sure?
We are sure, we appreciate the generous offer that was made by the village. but,
How about a hydroelectric facility?
Yeah,
We have a bridge we might want to sell to.
No,
Seeing you're in the bird business.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
I'll work out a trade with you, but it's not gonna be favorable terms.
All right, thanks again.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
See ya.
Good night.
All right, 6D is the town report dedication.
Are we gonna go back to,
We can,
no problem.
All right, we've already, made the amendment to the, E is done, ain't it?
Right, that's done.
The only thing you got F, we done that too.
yeah, but it's to promote Swanton budget, we have.
Oh, okay, that's right, yeah.
And we got the town report dedication, so I just,
Well, the town report, I put that there, we don't, just to get everybody thinking about it and think of an individual. And then we can make that decision at the next.
Or something.
individual or a group or a
Yeah,
agency,
Right.
I mean,
whatever, yeah.
thing is, we gotta, not much time, if we're not gonna approve it till next meeting, it doesn't give too many days to take pictures and get it built into the book, does it? No,
We're
'cause
not approving it.
No,
for
what you
next
were
meeting,
saying,
doesn't.
budget, you change a number or two, and you can
Right.
have that ready for tomorrow, but if we don't
You
decide
want
till the
photos for the
20th,
write-up
then
on
who's
the
just gonna,
20th, it's
right,
probably not gonna happen.
right.
Does anybody have any suggestions this year that we might be looking at?
Well, one thing we should do, and I don't know if you wanna go that far, but, Jim Pratt, he's put a lot of time in.
He has.
You know, and when he did get done, I mean, basically, we didn't He didn't get a plaque, did he?
No, but you got a, gift card.
Gift card part.
Yeah, you didn't want a plaque, right?
I mean,
I mean, there should be at least some mention.
Yeah.
yeah,
It'd be nice to write up on him.
is it something considered the fire department?
I like the group thing like we did last year that Nicole put together, that was pretty impressive. I think a group is where we should be headed, fire department, sure, that's.
I mean, I know it's technically the village fire department, but
No, that's a good idea.
it would be good for their morale to acknowledge that, you know, what they've done the last couple of years to get out and about more and.
And we can finally highlight
I think that's a
what
great
they're
idea.
doing and how much it's saving us, if we had to go the professional route.
Yeah, and then, you know, hopefully other people might encourage other people to get involved, not just in the fire department, but in other town activities too,
That's a
because.
good idea.
Yeah, to me,
Yeah.
that's what I was thinking, is, you know, maybe, I think they'd love to have their picture in the front of that.
Yeah, no, that's.
I think that's a great idea.
We'll have to make the arrangements for.
What do you think, Nick?
I like either Jim Pratt or the fire department, to be honest.
You can certainly put Jim's picture in one
I
of
mean,
the,
like we've
inset
done
or
it before,
something.
like we've done a dedication page with
Yeah.
a picture and stuff
Yeah.
inside, then you
Yeah.
have the cover for the other things.
Yeah.
I'd like to see if we could get the fire department to give us some input into what they think we should be talking about. Because you think back, you know, I'm gonna leave some people out, but Don Bell and Mr. Bostwick and all of the folks that were the fire chief and all of the folks that were members of that, pretty much deceased.
Yeah, they are.
That maybe they could give us some help too in writing this thing. So we just kind of go back a little bit and bring it forward, like Earl said, it might encourage some people to become
Yeah,
more active.
the other thing, whoops, go ahead.
Yeah, no, we've got the front, we got the inside of the front, we got the back and the back, so I mean, Jim gets part of one, but yeah, they could write up a nice thing for the
And
inside.
get some photos and
About the
whatever.
cover and then, oh yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna do Jim Pratt. The other thing, I think really we should, make some mention of Gordon Cheney, because he turned on it this, past year.
So did Mr. Bouchard.
Mr. Bouchard did too.
Okay,
It's 101.
it should be noted. I think, you know,
I
do it on the
have-
same page as,
I have their military pictures if you'd like me to send them to one of these guys.
you know, and he's a World War II veteran.
They both are.
Both are, okay, yeah, so it'd be a good idea to have them in, you know, I mean, along with Jim, these are significant, people
Let's
in
not forget
Swanton.
anybody though. I mean, it's nice that Mr. Bouchard, Mr. Cheney are still alive. But we don't wanna exclude some folks that we might overlook. Just throwing that out.
Well, I understand that,
I don't
but,
think you have any other 100-year-old or better veterans, to my knowledge.
Okay, I just don't wanna exclude
Here,
anybody.
but
no.
To help guide,
Yeah.
help guide our staff, what if we take this page, this is the back cover.
Yep.
And we do the two Centurions, Centurion and
Centurion.
Centurion Plus.
Yeah.
And then, Jim on this, and then the rest of it goes to the fire department, the back here, and then the write-up regarding the fire department. They got basically a whole page to do a nice,
Yep.
does that work, everybody?
I can
Anyone wanna
get,
make that motion? I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
All right. Motion been made in second to dedicate the 2024 annual report to the fire department, Jim Pratt, and our two veterans that are Centurion and Centurion Plus. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor state aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So moved.
So I have the years that Jim was here.
He's over my niece.
There's tons of great pictures.
Gonna move back to 5D5, amend, nope. D5, promote Swanton budget.
Okay, we came back, cause this is, looked at a few things. One thing, the, website, we're gonna leave that money, appropriated. Yeah, I got we're gonna leave that money in the general fund as it's been.
Correct.
That's not gonna, we're not gonna put any near to that, so that comes off from there. The other thing is, and, you know, I mean, this came up at the last meeting, about the beautification committee. Last year, the amount that was raised in Swanton between the town and the village is $9,000. Right now, we're proposing we're gonna drop that down to 7, just in order to keep things, you know, within line.
Now, just.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Okay, no, you go ahead.
No, just because I don't need you to do it at 7. I would like you to put it back to the 4 that you guys originally gave me and put it out of the highway department, like you did before. I think if we just keep it clean like it was before,
Okay,
and then we can sit and talk in the future about changing the way that we're doing it, but I think right now, it's kind of confusing. Does that
what's that?
make sense?
Yeah, are you, it's the village, are you gonna be asking the village to appropriate?
I'm gonna ask the village to appropriate the $5,000 that they have been appropriating for me. So, you guys appropriate the 4, the village appropriates the 5, and then next year, we could sit and actually have a moment when I come in as beautification and we just talk about beautification, what we might wanna see change for it.
Are you sure the village is gonna contribute that amount?
Yes, they have it on the bill, and I talked about it earlier today, and, I have no issues with Neil and Adam approving.
So what it ends up being now, what Susie just said is that, you know, basically in terms of actual new money, $2,700. Because most of this money is already been appropriated, it's just got moved over into this budget and taken off from the line item over here and put over there, because we had 5,000 in here for the celebration, we had 4,000 for the, beautification, that was already there. It's a small increase in the budget. I believe is gonna be a significant return if we're successful. You know, we still got a lot of work to do, we haven't got nowhere near as far as we wanna with the website, but we have got businesses involved, you know, we are getting some progress done. And I'm hoping to see more with the signage this summer.
So the general budget has a line item for 13.8 right now for promote Swanton.
Yeah.
You're saying take the 4,000 out?
No, it would be less than that if we take 3,000 off the 7,000, because that was, we figured 7,000 here somewhere. Where, I don't know where the line is.
But you're.
Okay, so we're gonna cut that to 4.
But what you're suggesting is drop the 4 and put it into the highway.
Right, that's how.
Yeah, we'd have to, if we will have to do it, so
So if that
Yeah.
7 comes out, then that number
Yes.
drops down to 7,700.
Yes.
But the line item in the general budget is 13.8.
Yeah, but that's because that's the number I had before. We
Right,
changed
right,
it to the 6.
right.
Yeah.
So that would actually
But
help
that's what
the
we're gonna
general
do.
budget, but.
Yeah, right.
So is the 7.7?
we ended up at 14,700.
Correct.
So you're gonna take that 7,000 right off in there,
Mhm.
so that's gonna cut that down to, what, 7,700?
So that's what we would put in the
And,
general.
instead of the 13,800 or whatever.
Right.
We'll put the 7,700, put the 4,000 back in the highway.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, it's $2,700.
Yeah, at the end of the day, that's all it is.
Okay.
And, you know, hopefully, I believe there's gonna be a return on investment on it, I think, you know,
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure
Yeah.
that Kathy gets to run with all this after we all get it.
I got on my highlights.
Okay, anybody have any further discussion on this? I'll entertain a motion to approve the 7,700 for the Promote Swanton fiscal year 2026 budget.
I make a motion to approve the 7,700 for the Promote Swanton budget.
Very second.
I'll second it.
Motion been made and second. Any further discussion? Hear none? All in favor state aye.
All right,
And you got my follow-up email, right, on the dates? Okay,
I appreciate it, thank you so much.
no problem.
please, please.
See you.
Okay.
Night.
All right, so we-
All right, give me just a second, folks, and I keep flipping around with all this paperwork. All right, so we got promote Swanton, we talked about the dispatch. We talked about Berry Road culvert financing, we've gone through 6, and now we're on the update on promote Swanton. Any additional information?
Still waiting for the rest of the Ecopixel work, and, then we're gonna now, we have an approved budget, as you've seen, Nicole has put out some various things for the signs that we're proposing. And we'll keep working on them, and hopefully we'll get some of these things ordered, so that this spring we can start getting some of them up.
Good.
And get the brochure printed.
And there's lovely shirts if anybody wants Swanton swag right now.
Nice. I'm getting an estimate for a sign for the park.
Yep.
Approximately the same size as it is now, with a logo on one side of it, so we can take a look at that and decide if that's something we're interested in.
I wanna ask Christina, you say you're limited to what you can put on there, is it lines, or is it?
You only have so many, it depends, the new sign might be different, it might be bigger, how much space you have.
It's gonna be just a little bit bigger, but
So
it's
you might be able to
that
put
one,
more words.
and this is just one, I wanna get a couple estimates for
Yeah.
us to look at.
Yeah.
The company that is gonna send this estimate is the one that did the VFW sign.
Yep.
But the company that I'm surprised hasn't got back to me is the one who did our original sign. But that company is the same one that did the one up at the school, and the
Yeah.
clarity on the school when I
Yeah,
drive by.
It's really great,
I
yeah.
really like that one.
Yeah, and they can get in several lines.
Oh, yeah, it's bigger.
Yeah.
Right, but they're real tall, but still it's evolved a lot since we put that one in the park and we get the color and
Yeah.
then,
Hopefully
The
we'll have to
program.
put a $2,000 board in it every year.
yeah. So I'm working to get us a couple options, and again, it's, the board's gonna decide.
Yeah.
I've already started some of that to look at it. And the other thing under community and economic development I wanted to bring up tonight, I didn't put in as a line item, but it's part of promote Swanton, is I go drive through like our industrial park. Do we have a listing of which businesses are up and running there, and which buildings are vacant and stuff? I think we should spend a little bit of time tracking that, so we know.
Yeah, we need to,
That's CIDC
we
should.
need that, one thing I've seen in my investigation of other town websites, and it's quite, not all towns, but there's a few of them that have like a economic development thing in there where you could put like the cheese factory there.
Yeah.
You could put, Franklin County Industrial Development there as an asset. And we could have number, and I heard this when I was talking to one of the business owners in down on Merchants Row. You know, I asked her when she started her business, was she able to find any other outside sources of funding, and did anybody help her with that? She said, no, I didn't know where to look. So, you know, like the small business programs and stuff, we should have a listing in there too. That's another thing that we can work on this year to do, because you're absolutely correct, it should be something done.
Cause we as select board members, to me, ought to have some
Yeah.
background knowledge of, hey, that building's vacant.
Yeah.
Are we asking, you know, when Tim comes in, are we asking him, or are you aware of it, are you doing it, and, yeah, I would like us to, and I know right now we're in a busy budget
Right.
season, but after that, I would like to,
I think the only vacant building is the cheese factory.
Yeah. Yeah, probably is.
We
Right
gotta be
now.
careful, we don't have anything to sell. Well, we actually have one potential piece of property that could be used. But it's a very small lot.
Yeah.
And we'd have to get another company that owns it to sign off, but we don't have anything to sell. So we might have an information base, but,
We have some things we can promote.
yeah, but.
The
yeah.
cheese factory, Southern Growth District. Those, you know, they could be highlighted as potential growth areas. So people could be aware that it was out there.
And listing who's in there and,
Yeah.
you know, how many employees and what they have, just, to me, is a way they realize that we're a little more aware of who they are and what they're doing.
Well, we've accomplished some of that. If you go down and if you look under services and stuff, Cargill has participated, what's the one that makes the socks? What's the name of that one?
Calco Group.
They've been in there, I don't know if we ever got anything back, did we get something back from pooling? I gotta double check on that, I think we did. Because I did personally go to all the businesses in that park.
Yeah, we did.
And H2O was in there, I
Yeah.
mean, they're
Had some great
already, yeah.
conversations too with all of them.
Okay, just throwing it
Yeah.
out for some information and stuff.
No, it's something that we're working on, but I think we're gonna have to add another one of those circles in there for businesses, economic development. And put down what's available out there. It's not available from the town, but it could be available from the state. Who cares? Just, you got a young person looking at for a business, or start a business, how am I gonna finance it? Where, they're gonna look at this, they can look at our website and find different resources.
Okay. Under any other necessary business, I asked Brian and Christina to do a little research on the Lister issue from the other day where the discussion, we did a little research online while we were in the meeting and said we had to have a charter, but we have checked a couple places now and it looks like we don't. This came from the Vermont Leagues of Cities and Towns, and then they did some research on some of our communities some of them are nearby, some are a little farther away, and what they do. So just wanted people to have this, not to have any discussion on it tonight, but just to take a look at it. What's that?
I did speak to all of those towns.
Yes, and really appreciate, this all came from a request yesterday morning, and they got this to us.
If we were a chartered municipality, we would have to amend the charter.
Change the charter, right?
But we're not, so we just.
Can do it through the voting process. Yep. And just, I know later on we're gonna have discussion in a few months, so I want people to at least have that info. And, cause to me, once I hear the whole charter thing, we're talking years if we wanna try to do anything.
At least a year.
Yep. Okay, correspondence, you had something?
Yeah, I got this addressed to the select board. I was asked to give it, so I'll give it to the chair to open up and.
Nothing coming out of it.
No,
No powder.
See you guys all scramble.
Well,
Stand back, girl.
Did you
trusted the person that handed it to me.
Oh, this is a thank you, we like that.
Thank you.
Joel, Earl, Steve, Nicole, and Nick, thank you for the Christmas gift card. It was unexpected but very appreciated. I hope you all had a very Merry Christmas. So as a safety officer like others, she got a gift card.
Yeah.
Susie Keller, very nice. Always nice when someone acknowledges when you do something for them. Okay, next regular select board obviously is gonna be continuation of budgets, employee reviews and plan. I'll be part of it. And does anybody have anything else that they can think of right now?
Just one thing, and it's only because some of this stuff is brand new, but maybe you could give us an update, Brian, on the pilot program now that we have new tenants in our southern growth district, like the highway garage, the land that the state bought. I just don't wanna have Swanton forgotten.
No.
I'm sure you're working on it, but it'd be nice to.
Well, I'm waiting for some information from those.
What I-
But if I don't get it, I'm gonna call and ask for it. I don't know if the state, they should give it to me, so. I'll just
I
say-
mean, we don't even know how significant it's gonna be.
I think we should, if you don't have what you need from the listers by the next meeting, as a select board, we should send them a letter to our own listers that this is what we need and what's the plan, because,
He's asked them multiple times for it.
yeah, no, I know, every time we talk about it, Brian's,
This is income on the table, but it's lost
right,
at this point.
Yeah, and, there's a process you gotta go through. For the land, you go to one agency, and then for the buildings, you go to another agency to apply for pilot.
But they need to come up with a
Well, they
appraisal,
do-
right?
Well, what they do is just take the insured value on the buildings. The state's holding the insurance, okay, where do you get that building insured?
Whatever.
And
It's
Yeah.
the land value, the sale of the land, what they paid for it.
I don't know how the state makes that determination.
Good question.
But I will say,
It's like, yeah.
I think it's been twice at least, if not 3 times, the fire department has responded out to the state garage for fire alarm. So that's a cost going out.
Sure.
And, so, and then I would imagine in their rounds when they're out there, the P.E.G drives around and takes a look. So,
Okay,
Excuse me.
Is there a due date? If we don't get it in, we get nothing this year?
probably don't buy that, but I, you
Oh.
know, I don't.
I think it's when we close our grand list, should be when we close our grand
It
list.
should be when we close the grand list and say, oh, here it is, folks. So,
And it's not retroactive.
no,
Are they
how
doing?
long, how long is it gonna take for them
Yeah.
to actually prove that they're gonna give us? Heck, that could be a year or two, at the pace that things happen down there, you know what I mean?
Well, I'm more concerned about would they challenge our assessment?
not if you're giving them
Recommended
the
deadline
assured
December
value.
31st.
Okay.
That's part of the process, right? We gotta give them all this, and then they say, we agree.
Right, you know, but, you know, we don't, I wouldn't hold my breath too much, but the town of St. Albans gets $105,000 in pilot money. I would assume a big chunk of that is for the correctional facility.
Yeah, I'm sure. it is, yeah.
But you got, I don't know what those buildings would be worth, we'll see what the insured value is at, the state garage, but when the armory gets built up there, they're talking about a $70 million facility. Like somebody, when he called and asked for information from me, and he said, well, we're thinking it'd be probably spending about $70 to $75 million on the building. Well, pretty good value. That's,
Yeah, I mean, that's, again, we haven't even given anything to the state to review, so
Right.
we're talking quite a while before this all gets approved.
I have asked multiple times, so I'll let you know how I make it.
Okay, well, thanks.
All right. Public comment? Happy New Year. Upcoming events?
Tuesday, January 13th, 2026, Planning Commission at 5 PM at the town office. Monday, January 19th, 2026 will be the MLK holiday. Office and operations town will be closed. Tuesday, January 20th, 2026 will be a select board meeting at 6 PM here at the town offices. Thursday, January 22nd, 2026 will be a DRB meeting at 6 PM at town offices.
All right. Motion to adjourn?
I make a motion to adjourn, sir.
Second.
Motion's been made, second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor state aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So moved. Thank you, folks. A lot of budget discussion.
Good night.
Yeah, all right.
Bye.
Aye.